Namaste students. In the previous class, you have learnt about functions of eyes. As well as you have learnt about accommodation, defects of the eyes. In today's class, we are going to study another sense organ, that is the ear. Humans have two ears, one on each side of the head. Human ears are organs for senses of hearing and balance. The ear is a miniature receiver, amplifier, and signal processing system. Now we can study the structure of ear. The human ear is divided into three parts: the external ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear or internal ear. Here in the diagram you can observe external ear, middle ear as well as the inner ear. First we can study the external ear. It is also called outer ear. It consists of an external visible part which is called pinna or auricle, and an internal part, the auditory canal. The auditory canal is the passage leading to the eardrum. It is called as tympanic membrane or tympanum. In the external ear, we can see the three parts: pinna, auditory canal, and tympanum or eardrum. The middle ear. The middle ear is a small air-filled cavity. It is separated from the external ear by the eardrum and from the internal ear by a thin bony partition which contains two small openings, namely oval window and round window. The middle ear contains three tiny bones called ear ossicles. These bones are named as malleus, or it is also called as hammer, incus, or it is also called as anvil, and stapes, or it is also called as stirrup. Malleus, incus, stapes, or hammer, anvil, stirrups. These are the bones which are present in the middle ear region. These bones together we call as a ear ossicles. The handle of malleus is attached to the internal surface of the eardrum. Its opposite end is connected with the incus. Incus is the intermediate bone and it articulates with the head of stapes. Here, three bones are interconnected to each other. The malleus bone is connected to the eardrum. Then the head of the malleus bone is connected to the incus, and the incus then connected to the stapes. The flat part of stapes is attached to the margins of fenestra ovalis. It is called as oval window. Oval window is also called as fenestra ovalis. The stapes is attached to the fenestra ovalis. Throughout the oval window, the cavity of middle ear is connected with the cavity of internal ear. Through this oval window, the middle ear and internal ear is connected. Directly below the oval window is another window called round window. It is called as fenestra rotunda. It is called as round window. The round window is covered by a thin membrane. The anterior wall of the middle ear contains an opening that leads to auditory tube. It is called as eustachian tube. In the middle ear we can see a tube-like structure that is called as eustachian tube. This eustachian tube, it connects the middle ear with the throat. Thus, any throat infection may reach the ear through the eustachian tube. there is a connection between the throat and ear. The main function of this eustachian tube, it helps in equalizing air pressure on both the sides of eardrum. This eustachian tube, it helps to equalize the air pressure on both the sides of the eardrum. If the air pressure is not equalized on both the sides of the eardrum, it will damage our eardrum. So that's why eustachian tube is very important. It equalizes the air pressure on either side of the eardrum. So these are the parts of the middle ear. In the diagram you can observe eardrum, it is connected to the hammer or malleus bone. Malleus bone, the head of the malleus bone is connected to the anvil or incus, and the end part of this incus bone is connected to the stapes. This stapes is connected to the oval window, and just below the oval window one more opening is there, that is called as a round window. When the sound waves strike on the eardrum, the malleus bone is undergo the vibration. That vibration then transferred to the incus, then it transferred to the stapes, then it enters inside the oval window, then it enters into the internal ear region. So this is structure of the middle ear, as well as we can see one of the tube that is called as a eustachian tube. It equalizes the air pressure on either side of the eardrum. The internal ear. The internal ear is also called as inner ear. It is also called as membranous labyrinth. It has two main parts. One is cochlea and is the semicircular canals. First we can study about the cochlea. It is a hollow spiral shaped coiled chamber. It looks like a snail's shell. It consists of a bony spiral canal that makes about 2 3/4 turns around a central bony pore. Its inner spiral cavity contains 3 separate channels or canals, that are vestibular canal, median canal and tympanal canal. These canals are separated by membranes. The median canal is filled with endolymph and the remaining 2 canals are filled with perilymph. Endolymph and perilymph, these are the fluid present in the inner ear region. Endolymph it is filled in the median canal, and vestibular canal and tympanal canal it is filled by perilymph fluid. The middle canal contains a spiral organ called organ of Corti. This is the organ of hearing. How the sense cells are present in the eye, that is rods and cones. Here also sense cells is there, that is called as organ of Corti. It contains a series of nerve and hair cells which join the auditory nerve and helps in hearing. The hair cells of the spiral organ are very sensitive to sound. They can be damaged by exposure to high intensity noises such as those produced by jet engines, loud music, etc. The inner ear also contains 3 semicircular canals. These canals are arranged at right angles to each other in 3 different planes and are filled with the endolymph fluid. One end of each canal is swollen to form an ampulla. The ampulla contains sensory cells which help in balance of the body while moving. Nerve fibers arise from these cells and join the auditory nerve. Here in the inner ear region, there are 3 canals are there, that is called as semicircular canals. These semicircular canals are arranged at right angles to each other, and one end of these semicircular canals swollen. That swollen part is called ampulla, and is filled by a fluid that is called endolymph. And these semicircular canals, it help for the balancing of our body when we are moving. There is a short stem known as vestibule which joins the semicircular canals and cochlea. Between the semicircular canals and cochlea, there is a short part that short part is called vestibule. Vestibule contains two parts, utriculus and sacculus. Utriculus and sacculus together is called as vestibule. It is present between the semicircular canal and cochlea. These also contain tiny hair-like sensory cells which help in static balance of the body. Means when body is in a resting condition, at that time it balances our body. That is called as static balance. While moving, semicircular canals will help, that is called a dynamic balance, and while rest, the utriculus and sacculus maintain our body, that is called, it balance our body, that is called a static balance. In the diagram you can observe semicircular canal, cochlea, and in between the semicircular canal and cochlea we can see the utriculus and sacculus. In the cochlear region, we can see the three canals: the vestibular canal, median canal, and tympanal canal. And in the semicircular canal, we can see the three canal-like structure, half ring-like structure. It is 3 in number, and one end of each canal is swollen. That part is called as ampulla, and it is filled by a fluid endolymph. And we can see the utriculus as well as the sacculus in between the cochlea as well as the semicircular canal. And this cochlea, it look like a snail shell. The cochlea look like a snail shell, and it has a 2.5 turns. It has a 2.5 turns. That is called a cochlea. The actual hearing takes place in the cochlear region because it has a hearing organ, that is a organ of Corti. Next, functions of the ear. The internal ear is involved in 2 sensory functions: hearing and body balance. First one is hearing. Now we can study mechanism of hearing. Pinna collects and amplifies sound waves which enter the auditory canal. The sound waves strike the eardrum and cause it to vibrate. The pinna main function is it collects the sound waves, and the sound waves then through the auditory canal it strike on the eardrum. When these sound waves strike on the eardrum undergo the vibration. Next, the eustachian tube equalizes the pressure on each side of the eardrum, which allows them vibrate freely. So here eustachian tube, it equalizes the pressure of air pressure on either side of the eardrum. The vibrations in eardrum cause the bones of the ear ossicles to vibrate. When the sound waves strike on the eardrum undergo the vibration. That vibration is then passes to the ear ossicles. First, that vibration is transmitted to the malleus bone. Then when malleus bone undergo the vibration, that vibration is transferred to the incus bone. Incus bone will undergo the vibration, and that vibration then transmit to the stapes. Here that's why 3 bones are connected to each other, and malleus bone is connected to the eardrum. Ear ossicles transmit vibrations from the eardrum to the denser fluid in the inner ear. That vibration then enters inside the fluid which is present in the inner ear region. The lever-like action of malleus and incus magnifies the vibrations of the stapes. The vibrating stapes transmit vibrations to the membrane of the oval window. That vibration through the stapes, it enters inside the oval window region. Vibrations from oval window are transmitted to cochlea. This leads to vibrations in the fluid of cochlear canals. So through the oval window, this vibration then transmit to the cochlea. In the cochlea, it has a fluid. So when the cochlea receives that vibrations, the fluid which are present in the cochlea, it also undergo the vibration. Vibration of fluid in cochlear canals triggers movement of sensory hair cells of organ of Corti in cochlea. In median canal, we can see the organ of Corti. It has a sensory hair cells. So when the fluid undergo the vibration, that sensory hair cells receive that vibration which are present in the organ of Corti region. Movements of sensory hair cells is converted to a nerve impulse. That vibration, then it converted into a nerve impulse. Nerve signals are transmitted to the brain through auditory nerve, and this results in hearing. So here that vibration then convert into a nerve impulse. That nerve impulse through the auditory nerve, it goes to the brain, and then we can hear the sound. So these are the mechanism of hearing. In the diagram, you can observe the arrow mark. So here the pinna, it collects the sound waves, then it through the auditory canal, it strike on the eardrum. The eardrum undergo the vibration. That vibration is transmitted to the malleus, incus and stapes, and stapes is connected to the oval window. So that vibration through the oval window, it enters inside the cochlear region. When the vibration enters inside the cochlear region, the fluid which are present in the canals of cochlea undergo the vibration. And in the median canal, we can see the organ of Corti. It is present on the basilar membrane. So it has a sensory hair cells. It receives that vibration and it converts that vibration into nerve impulse. And that nerve impulse through the auditory nerve, it goes to the brain. So this is the mechanism of hearing. Next, its another main function is balancing. The sensory hair cells in semicircular canals are concerned with dynamic balance. That is, while the body is in motion. Similarly, sensory cells in utriculus and sacculus are concerned with static balance with respect to the center of gravity. Semicircular canals contains calcareous particles or otoliths. When the head is tilted from the normal position, the otoliths move towards the left and press the sensory hairs. The stimulus is picked up by the fibers of the auditory nerve and passed on to the brain. From the brain, the necessary orders are sent through motor neurons to return the body to its normal position. So this is a mechanism of balancing. In the semicircular canals, it has a calcareous particles that is called as otoliths. When the head is tilted, that time otoliths move towards the left and it presses the sensory hair cells. This stimulation is picked up by the fibers of the auditory nerve and passes to the brain. Similar sensory patches are also located in the utriculus and sacculus, which register the static balance with respect to gravity. Here, especially while moving in through the lift. So at that time, so we are in the resting condition. In that condition, so our body is balanced with the help of this utriculus and sacculus. That is the static balance, especially while moving in the lift. If you spin round and round, the fluid in the semicircular canals continues to spin for a short time, even after you stop, and you feel dizzy, and at the same time your eyes perform to and fro movements caused due to stimulation of semicircular canals. Here, when you spin round and round, if you stop also, you are still in round and round motion, but you already stopped. So why it happened? Because when you stop the round and round motion, the fluid which are present in the semicircular canals, it will stop the movement but slowly. It will not stop its movement suddenly, it will stop its movement slowly. So that's why we are feeling dizzy. At the same time, our eyes perform to and fro movements, because the fluid which are present in the semicircular canals, it won't stop that much fast of movement. So if we stop also, it will take the time to stop its movement. So this is the balancing of the body.